Young and the Restless next week. Phyllis freaks on Billy and Chelsea regrets move. Young and the Restless spoilers for next week have Chelsea Lawson Newman, Melissa Claire Egan, getting really angry. Also, Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, hurls threats at Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson. Plus, there's other exciting drama involving Tessa Porter, Kate Fairbanks, Lily Winters, Crystal Khalil, Damian Kane, Jermaine Rivers, Sally Spectra, Courtney Hope, and more. This all goes down the week of May 5th through the 9th. As this week wound down, drama with Billy, Sally, and Phyllis carries over into next week. Billy stops by the Abbott mansion and Deesa's Diane Jenkins's, Susan Walters, redo. Everybody else loved the new decor, even Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman. But Billy thinks Diane stripped the feel of their dad, John Abbott, Jerry Douglas, out of the house. He is kind of brutal in what he says and then walks out. Young and the Restless week ahead. Phyllis fallout from Summer's exit. We also have Billy's girlfriend Sally bailing on Summer Newman, Allison Lanier, because she wants to say yes to Billy's job offer and work with him at Abbott.com. And that's double trouble because Chelsea's doing the same thing and walking away from Summer to work with Adam Newman, Mark Grossman, at Newman Media. In the end, Summer is supportive and encourages Sally and Chelsea to follow their dreams. This leaves Summer in a tight spot, and she leaves for Italy to deal with this Marchetti crisis. I did a Summer exit video this week about Allison Lanier leaving. And as I predicted, it was a very low-key and open-ended exit. Summer told Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow, and Phyllis she has to go to Italy for work. But she said she'll be back. Then, Summer told Harrison Locke, Redding Munsell, the news. He's very sad to see her go. Then when Kyle Abbott, Michael Mealer, told Summer he's moving in with Claire Newman, Haley Aaron, she said, "Don't tell Harrison till I'm back." Of course, we've heard that there is no recast of Summer planned. So, I'm guessing it'll be like an Aline Gwynn, Kelsey Wong, and Noah Newman, Rory Gibson situation as I mentioned. They just kind of slip out of sight, out of mind and get off-screen mentions. Then, gradually there are fewers and then rare mentions. Kyle may say Summers decided to stay longer. Then they just kind of stop talking about her. Allison Lanier's last day was Friday, May 2nd. Who knows when we'll see Summer again. Phyllis Summers crosses a line and threats fly on Young and the Restless. This may be part of why Phyllis is so amped up. Because she throws some threats around next week. She's all worked up also after talking with Tessa who refused to spy on Daniel Romalotti, Michael Graziadei, for his mom. Tessa advised Phyllis to back off and let Daniel heal in his own way. And of course, she's not going to chill out. So, Phyllis is upset she didn't get anywhere with Tessa. And then in next week's Young and the Restless spoilers, Phyllis sits down and confronts Billy and Sally. And she is furious. It's not clear if Phyllis is threatening Billy or Sally or both. Could be both because Phyllis is glaring and vowing, "You'll be sorry you did this to me." Billy and Sally both look alarmed and a little off-put by Phyllis coming at them. So, she may be irate that Billy fired her. And Phyllis will be enraged that Billy immediately replaced her with Sally. And even worse, Phyllis may blame them for why Summer left town. That'll be complicated because Billy, Sally, and Abbott.com not only have Victor Newman, Eric Braden, and Adam coming for them. But there's also unhinged Phyllis. And that should be pretty entertaining. Maybe Sharon Newman, Sharon Case, can get Phyllis some help and some therapy. Chelsea Lawson questioned as Victor plots against Abbott's on Y&R next week. We've also got action on Young and Restless with Chelsea and Adam in the aftermath of her walking away from Marchetti to join Newman Media. And of course, Victor is enraged at Michael Baldwin, Christian Jules LeBlanc. He was screaming at him this past week. Soon, Victor may task Adam to take aim at his enemies, the Abbotts, and hit them hard. And of course, Billy's fair game as far as Adam is concerned. But he doesn't want to hit at Jack. So, Victor may task Adam to make sure that Billy's new company never gets off the ground. Just trash them in the media and ruin everything. Because next week, Chelsea and Adam are discussing her fresh start over there at Newman Media as his COO. And Chelsea may already be on the job at this point. Next week, she's angry. She's upset. She's thinking that the timing seems very suspicious because of these new events at the office. Adam looks stunned as Chelsea accuses and wonders if this could be Victor's way of testing her loyalty. And it certainly sounds like something Adam's dad would do. But we'll have to wait and see exactly what sets off Chelsea. Young and the Restless next week. Victor takes aim at Kyle and Billy Abbott. Chelsea may be upset if there's a nasty smear campaign against somebody she cares about. And don't forget, she just left Marchetti for a Newman-owned business. And Marchetti is owned by Jabot. So Chelsea was just working under Jack and has no animosity towards him. And Chelsea certainly has no animosity towards Billy. Quite the opposite. She feels guilty and that she owes him because of what she did. I'm sure Adam's going to reassure her, but already this seems like Chelsea might have made a bad choice joining Newman Media. Nick warned Adam it was a bad idea. Chelsea may have major buyer's remorse next week about her new role and walking away from fashion. Lily Winters digs for answers on Y&R. Elsewhere on Young and the Restless, there's major movement with this Dumas thing next week. It's been going on so long. I don't know why Josh Griffith, head writer, thinks we like watching paint dry. Because that's the feeling with this. It's just dumb and drawn out for too long at this point. I really hope it's all worth it in the end. But it looks like Dumas is definitely in town in sweeps, which I expected. And of course, I still expect it's Billy Flynn. Lily just grilled Holden Novak, Nathan Owens, about Dumas. You remember that was fresh off Lily's argument with Audra Charles, Zuleika Silver. Lily got nowhere with Holden. But she has made progress with Damien. All this doubt is based on what Victor told her. That's why Lily thinks Dumas is coming for Winters. But I think that's just Victor spreading misinformation. We'll know soon. But Damien sits down with Lily next week and says he did what she asked. He got word to Aristotle Dumas to try and arrange a meeting between him and Lily. So Damien tells her that Dumas wants to know why Lily wants to meet him and what she's after. And I expect Damien is going to get answers from Lily that he takes back to his boss who comes to town soon to meet with her. Mariah Copeland's dark secret revealed. What happened off-screen? Also, we have a bit of a shocker by the end of this week that carries over into next week. If you remember, Mariah returned home with something young and the restless. The fiery drama in Genoa City ignites once again as old wounds reopen, hidden feelings surface, and bold decisions spark emotional chaos. Phyllis Summers finds herself spiraling into a storm of jealousy and rage after a heated confrontation with Billy Abbott, while Chelsea Lawson's latest move leaves her questioning everything she thought she wanted. It's a week packed with passion, guilt, and dangerous temptations that could change relationships forever. Phyllis loses control. Phyllis Summers has always been known for her fierce independence and razor-sharp tongue, but next week, her emotions will get the best of her. After overhearing a tense conversation between Billy and Chelsea, Phyllis misinterprets the situation, and the fiery redhead's temper ignites like gasoline meeting a spark. Billy, who's been trying to stay professional while balancing his complicated dynamic with Chelsea, gets blindsided when Phyllis bursts into his office at Chancellor Winters, demanding answers. Her voice trembles between fury and hurt as she accuses him of stringing Chelsea along while secretly manipulating her career behind the scenes. "Don't play innocent, Billy," Phyllis snaps, pacing the room. "You've got that smug grin that says you're guilty of something. And I'm not falling for it. Not this time." Billy tries to defuse the situation, insisting that his only concern is Chelsea's mental health and that he's not trying to play games. But Phyllis, who's always had a complicated history with Billy, part love, part resentment, can't let go of her suspicions. She feels a familiar sting of betrayal, remembering every time Billy's charm led her into heartbreak. "Phyllis, this isn't about you," Billy finally says, exasperated. "Chelsea's trying to rebuild her life, and I'm helping her the best way I can. Don't twist it into something it's not." But that only sets Phyllis off further. Her voice cracks, revealing the raw pain beneath her anger. "You always say that. Every time I call you out, you make me feel like I'm crazy. But I know what I see, Billy. And what I see is you getting ready to destroy another woman while pretending to save her." The confrontation ends with Phyllis storming out, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. Yet behind the fury is something deeper, a sense of loss and confusion about where her life is headed. Chelsea's regretful realization. Meanwhile, Chelsea finds herself struggling with a quiet storm of her own. After accepting a new creative opportunity, a bold move she thought would prove her independence, she quickly realizes the cost of that decision. The new job takes her away from Connor more often than she expected, and the long hours are starting to wear her down emotionally. When Billy stops by her apartment to check on her, he finds Chelsea staring blankly at her laptop, an untouched cup of coffee beside her. "I thought this project was supposed to make you happy," he says softly. It was supposed to, Chelsea admits, her voice low. But all I can think about is how much time I'm missing with Connor. And how maybe I jumped too fast into something I wasn't ready for. Billy encourages her not to be so hard on herself, but Chelsea's regret runs deep. She starts to question whether her move was really about career ambition, or about proving to herself that she could be independent again after so many emotional setbacks. Her heart aches with conflicting emotions. She's proud of her progress, yet she feels an emptiness that success can't fill. And when Billy gently places his hand on hers, offering comfort, that old connection between them flares again, bringing both warmth and danger. "Billy," she whispers, her voice trembling, "what are we doing? Every time I start to move forward, I feel like I get pulled right back to you." He hesitates, the unspoken truth hanging between them. Maybe because we never really figured out how to stop caring. Phyllis plots revenge. As word spreads that Phyllis and Billy had a blow-up, Phyllis doubles down on her anger. Her daughter Summer tries to calm her, warning that getting tangled up with Billy again, emotionally or otherwise, will only end in heartbreak. But Phyllis refuses to listen. Instead, she throws herself into fixing things the only way she knows how, by taking control. She starts digging into Chelsea's new project, looking for any leverage she can find. When she discovers that a key investor has ties to one of her old tech contacts, she seizes the opportunity to stir trouble. "I'm not sabotaging anyone," Phyllis insists when Summer calls her out. "I'm just protecting people from making stupid decisions, like trusting Billy Abbott." But the truth is, Phyllis can't stand the thought of Billy and Chelsea growing closer again. Her fury is fueled as much by jealousy as by righteous indignation. And when she learns about Billy's visit to Chelsea's apartment, her anger boils over into something reckless. Phyllis storms into society the next day, confronting Billy in front of several onlookers. Her words are sharp, biting, and painfully revealing. "You think you're everyone's savior, but you're just as broken as the rest of us. The difference is, you pretend you're not." The outburst leaves Billy speechless, and Chelsea mortified. Lily, watching from across the room, can only shake her head as the chaos unfolds. Chelsea's breaking point. Later that night, Chelsea sits alone, reflecting on everything that's happened. Her regret about taking the job has deepened, but now she also feels humiliated by Phyllis's public attack. She knows that her connection with Billy, however complicated, has become a lightning rod for drama, and she begins to wonder if it's time to finally step away. In a vulnerable moment, she calls Sharon, seeking advice. Sharon listens quietly, then says something that resonates deeply. "Sometimes, Chelsea, regret isn't about the choice, it's about what we hoped it would fix. But healing doesn't come from running. It comes from facing what's broken."